Dang. What's up? I'm gonna wait a minute or two so we don't have to like backtrack too much. If you're in here, let me know. Rogue Nation. What's up, Captain? How's it going, bruh? What's up, man? How's it going, eyes? We're gonna do okay, you got the whole team up in here right now. We're gonna do some public records review on these accomplishment reports that I was mentioning out in Largo the other day. I figured, why not just do it live? So I'm gonna switch you guys around so we can go through some of this stuff. This is what I use for the thumbnail, as you can see. Congratulations on your drug arrest. And then this is Nito Navarro. We're gonna go all the way down to the Bizautumn. Nito would be his nickname. So anyway, I've been mentioning for a while that yeah, people talk about there's no quotas and all this kind of stuff, but they sure do get patted on the nuts for throwing people in jail. I'll let you know that much. Can you guys read that okay? Once I go up. So, ironically enough, the first one in here from his career was great job on your drug arrest. Nothing's redacted on this because this is when he was probably in regular patrol. So, moving on. That's one. There's like 114 pages in this, I believe. Thank you for your professionalism and outstanding customer service you displayed recently when you attended Cole Snyder's 5th birthday party. Your special appearance at the event was a treat for all in attendance. Your willingness to go above and beyond has not been overlooked. Keep up the good work. I did find a Facebook post on Polk County Sheriff where he was taking a picture with this kid. I imagine it's that kid. There's a commendation later on about that Facebook post, but we'll get to that. On 7/21/14, the call load during the shift was extremely heavy and many calls pending throughout the day. You were part of the team that took care of business and got the job done. Thank you for your hard work. Crowd goes wild. Good job on the arrest of Juan Capuel. Driving while suspended license or revoked. Or driving with suspended license or revoked. I think that's what that is. So, good job on your arrest, Tanner Pillington. Domestic or battery, domestic violence. So they get patted on the nuts every time they throw somebody in jail, and then you're gonna see later on exactly how many people he's, as I like to call, had an intervention on. Yeah, right? It's funny shit. Good job on the arrest of David E. Jones. Reference failure to appear for a warrant for resisting arrest without or resisting without violence. It's no longer, I guess, resisting arrest anymore. It's resisting what comes out of an officer's mouth. Good job on the arrest of Michael Williams for domestic violence battery. Great job on the arrest of somebody else for failure to appear for traffic offenses. This guy's a hero. 6 people in here. Y'all go ahead and drop that like if you don't mind. Good job on the arrest of Abrams blah for outstanding warrants. Good job on the arrest of somebody else for battery domestic violence. Good job on the arrest of somebody else for battery domestic violence. Good job on the arrest of somebody for failure to appear for a DUI. Well, let's read this little chestnut. Deputy Sheriff Humberto Navarro. On November 18th, 2014, at approximately 23:31 hours, you, along with other Northwest Charlie Platoon members and Northwest CST members, responded to the Easy Food Mart, located at 4009 Night Station Road in Lakeland, in reference to a burglar alarm. It was discovered that the storefront had been smashed in by a vehicle and the ATM machine removed. Witnesses were located and provided information on the suspect, who was seen on the Night Station Road in Plant City attempting to break into the ATM machine on the side of the road. This information was quickly sent to Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and their assistance was requested. A search of the area was conducted, and the suspect's stolen vehicle was located on the side of Midway Road and Charlie Taylor Road in Plant City. The suspect, later identified as Eric Chiaramonte, fled on foot, and a perimeter was swiftly established by Polk County Sheriff's Office and Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office members. A track was conducted with the assistance of K9 and air in an attempt to locate the suspect. The suspect was spotted in PCSO, blah, 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 pat your nuts. That's a district commendation. Here is the actual points value. He gets 5 points for that. So I assume all these points lead up to possible promotions, and you're going to see later on exactly how Detective Navarro ended up in the Bureau of Special Investigations and on the Tactical Drug Unit. Good job on the arrest in reference to battery. Good job on the arrest for violation of home detention. Yeah, pretty much. That's all it is there, News Now South Florida. Extortion at its finest. Good job on the arrest. Somebody else for battery. Let's see what we got here. This shit's got to be debatable. During the 2013 calendar year, Northwest District reduced crime by a record-breaking 20.02%, which equated to 454 fewer pro-cap crimes than the 2012 calendar year. Many people doubted that the district would ever see reductions of that magnitude, as the underlying factors that produce crime have remained the same. Propaganda, insert whatever. The Northwest District has enjoyed a collective 17.5 reduction in crime for the 2014 calendar year. Yeah, what do you guys that could be it too. That could be it too. Maybe that's why he was covering his mouth. What do we got here? On 1/27/15, the members of the Charlie Platoon gave Tiger Cubs Pack 711 a tour of the Northwest District Command. Your willingness to assist and positive attitude gave the young scouts an excellent impression of the PCSO and the members who worked there. Thank you. So, a little indoctrinating the youth going on there. Great job in the investigation and arrest of Peter Dubin, for possession of cannabis and paraphernalia. Good job. Good job. That's a 2-pointer there. Great job on the warrant arrest of Antonio Thomas. Violation of parole, burglary, grand theft, or probation, one of the two. Keep up the good work. Let's see what we got here. March 28, 2015, received information regarding a previously reported burglary that occurred. While following up on information, you found that the resident had home surveillance footage of the crime being committed. Not only did you observe this burglary, but you observed the suspect go into another vehicle nearby. You and Deputy Sheriff Craig Smith viewed the video and determined that the video actually showed the suspect's face in the end vehicle. While viewing the footage, you and him recognized the suspect and the vehicle he was driving. A subject had previously contacted early in that evening. Yeah, this is the. What do you guys think of this so far? It's just a bunch of nut tapping, isn't it? Stroking, as Eyes on the State would call it. Great job on the investigation and arrest of this person in reference to case number blah blah blah. Another 2-pointer. Each month, the Southwest District is assigned about 200 property and evidence disposition forms. Each month, they are assigned by platoon to complete. May forms were completed a week before they were due. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. So he pushed a little paper for this one. That's not even his. She got the wrong fucking Navarro. Good job, Tara. I didn't know there's two Navarros that worked there, but she put the wrong freaking guy's accomplishment report. So he pushed paper for that one, not Detective Navarro. Back to Humberto Navarro. Little Nito. Oh, great job locating and arresting this guy for failure to appear for knowingly driving on a suspended license. 11 and 5 likes. Y'all tighten up now. I'll take another 5. Great job on the arrest of this person. No reference numbers. Congratulations on your drug arrest. Wait till we get to 2016, guys. Drug arrest is apparently a 2-point value, along with any of those other. What the shit? Everybody's saying what's up here. I think this is in reference to that Facebook post. This compliment received on Facebook private message is about Humberto Navarro and Justin Vasquez. Captain Story is already aware. Great job. Tiffany says, "Hi, I wanted to message you about an encounter I had this evening with 2 of your officers, aka deputies. My son and I were leaving Wawa on North 98 this evening and were parked next to a PCSO cruiser. My 7-year-old son, Evan, has always had a fascination with the police cars and the TV show Cops. When the officer came out of the store, I took a chance and asked him if he would mind turning on the lights for my son. The officer did one better. He invited us to his car, over to his car. Officer Navarro spent a good amount of time with my son and showed him every little light on the car. Evan got to move the spotlight around and was thrilled with all the different lights on the outside of the cruiser. Officer Navarro explained what everything inside the car did and how he enabled him to do his job. Then he opened the trunk and showed us all the fun in there. He even gave my son a glow stick. Indoctrination of the youth." Great job on taking time out of your busy schedule to interact with a young boy who was fascinated in law enforcement. Congratulations on your drug arrest. We are now in 2016. This is definitely how I think he ended up on the tactical drug unit. So just watch, right? Congratulations on your drug arrest for this case. Next one. Outstanding job in the assistance of arresting 5 subjects involved in the murder of Robert Banks. Well, I'd have to look into that, although that sounds like a halfway decent accomplishment. Congratulations on your drug arrest. You displayed great teamwork in assisting myself in completing multiple times 15 and vehicle searches in a timely manner. Oh, sweet. 15 vehicle searches. Great job on a pro cap target. Oh, we got PJ up in here. All y'all just joining, go ahead and hit the like. I haven't seen this kind of stuff on anybody else's channel, so maybe I'm not looking hard enough. But these are local accomplishment reports in Polk County for the two detectives that dealt with my arrest. And this is just the first one. So another proactive arrest of somebody else. Another arrest of somebody else. Another arrest of somebody else. Let's see. On January 22nd, 2016, deputies worked a burglary at the address of 3241 Pebblebrook in Lakeland. The suspects entered the residence and removed electronic equipment, food items, and the family Yorkshire Terrier puppy. That's kind of crazy. During the investigation, video footage was obtained from a neighbor's residence. The suspects in the video were three black males in dark-colored Nissan, which was parked in front of the victim's residence. And it looks like they were later arrested. I don't think there would be an accomplishment report if they weren't arrested, though. I want to commend you on a job well done on case blah 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 involving this person. She was attached to a possible warrant out of another state, but he figured out that she was not the person listed on the warrant, so they didn't arrest her. So, well done. Great job on the proactive investigation and arrest of this guy. Great job on the proactive warrant arrest of this guy. You just subbed PJ right now, News Now, South Florida? That's like, how did you not know about her? Congratulations on your drug arrest. Oh, congratulations on your drug arrest. Oh, congratulations on your drug arrest. Congratulations on your drug arrest. So how did this guy end up on the tactical drug unit? I have no freaking idea. Let's see what the next one says. Oh, congratulations on your drug arrest. What's up, Dr. Sean Barrett? What's up, anybody else that I didn't see pop in here? I see Shimmy Sham. I've seen PJ Audits. I've seen Tampa Cop Watch. Joe Cool's up in there. See, I need to make some more mods in the future. We'll get a handle on that. Anybody just joining, please smash the like. Thank you, Eyes on the State. You got them on that. We're just going to continue going through Navarro's accomplishment reports, in which 2016 he was arresting a lot of people for drugs, and somehow now he's on the tactical drug unit. So, what kind of shit that is, figure that out. There's an even number. Operation Fall Sweep. I'm sure maybe we've seen a press conference on that one. He seemed to have had a hand in that. That's the point value for it. Congratulations on your drug arrest. Displayed great teamwork and leadership, assisted in completing multiple arrests in a timely manner. There's one that's kind of crazy in here. Oh, congratulations on your drug arrest. That not fun. Well, I'm glad that even though I have 10 people in my live, it's like the realest of the real. So, oh, there's the dude right there. 11, yeah. Thanks for being number 11, Mr. Crispy. Let's keep going through this accomplishment report. Another drug arrest. SVU is in need of support with locating a suspect who is being sought in reference to a capital sexual battery. You assisted in providing tactical support and other related tasks, which helped secure a successful apprehension and confession. Interesting. Congratulations on your drug arrest. Congratulations on your, you name it, drug arrest. And another drug arrest. And another one. Another one. Another one. I'll just sit here and DJ Khaled this bit. Another one. Another one. Another one. This is the guy that arrested me, Joe Cool. It's his accomplishment report from Polk County Sheriff's Office. Another one. Another one. Another one. So 2016 and 17, this guy was busy locking people up for drugs. I think he found his calling, huh? I think this is probably the situation he was trying to have me hemmed up on when he was doing what he was doing. But guess who didn't have anything on him? Told you, man, I don't go out and breaking the law. Drug arrest. Drug arrest. Drug arrest. Another one. So if you guys have any questions as we go through this, while we get through these drug arrests in 2016 and 17, there's another one up here somewhere that's kind of like foul. Foul. Right now, we're scrolling through drug arrests. Is Noli D in the house? Okay, see now where they're starting to be redacted, he must have made his little, got his promotion to the tactical drug unit. Where he's so good at undercover that he jumps out for traffic violations and blows his cover. And then tries to cover his mouth. Not feeding animals. Okay, you were recently assigned Crime Stoppers tip about narcotics on Grimes Road in Polk City. You made contact with several subjects at this residence and obtained consent to search. You then located methamphetamine and paraphernalia and were able to make 2 arrests. That's why you don't let them in your place. That's why you tell them no when they ask to search. Fuck you, Navarro. Your assistance with shelters during Hurricane Irma, blah, blah, blah. It's his fucking job. He doesn't need to get an accommodation for doing his fucking job. Oh, more drug arrests. Great job on the knowingly driving while license suspended or revoked arrest. Southwest Initiative. Great job on the arrests that were made during that. Hola, Poncha! It's my niece, y'all. During the month of November 2017, you and your partner made a total of 49 arrests. You continue to push yourselves and others to have a record-setting month in the number of arrests for the unit. Still only 2 points, though. Wow. Too bad for you, Navarro. On November 9th, you and your partner, who I could only imagine is freaking Rogers. Maybe not. Not sure. It's speculation. As you can see, there's like black lines all over everything. Authored and executed a search warrant at this address. As a result of your efforts, 13 people were arrested, along with methamphetamine, heroin, and cannabis was seized. So, consenting adults were doing what consenting adults do, and Navarro decides to pull an intervention. And, or the sheriff's office decides to pull an intervention. That's what I'm calling them now, these interventions into people's lives. Great job on your arrest. I can't even talk anymore. Oh, March 2018, both you and your partner led the tactical drug in number of arrests. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. So, are they protecting us, or are they making sure all of us are in the system and stay that way? The month of October, they led the number of arrests. The arrest led to a great job on the arrest of somebody. The arrest led to a search warrant and the seizure of more than 1,100 grams of weed. I'm not sure exactly which bike watch you're speaking of, sir. I'm doing too much reading these accomplishment reports. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't. Back to what you were saying before there, PJA. I haven't found any PDs with like if you pull a personnel file, you could probably get some accommodations, but they don't have this little point system like PCSO does that I've found. I just happened to run up on this after those guys were harassing me about locking my bike to a bike rack. I'm going to say that again. Who wanted to harass me for locking my bike to a bike rack. So I decided to see what the fuck their careers have entailed. I've posted a few 360 ones, but I'm not sure. You talking about the real short one where I was watching Rice Krispie and got all like spooked at the stop sign? Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, that would be the one. It is pretty cool. Sometimes they don't look as clear as I'd like them to, but I'm sure it has to do with your internet connection and all that stuff. So, I mean, this is just a whole bunch of thanks for helping us arrest this person. Good job on arresting this person. There was a few other, like, what I would consider worthy of an accommodation or an accomplishment report. But the rest is just thanks for throwing this person in jail. Thanks for throwing this person in jail. Thanks for throwing this person in jail. Exactly. News Now South Florida, you hit the nail on the head. It shouldn't. It's supposed to be about public safety, right? Not enslaving the public. And unfortunately, from the looks of it here, that's what it's become all about, is just enslaving the public and generating funds for the state. Great job with making 13 arrests the first day of April. First 2 days, excuse me. So that's like 6 one day and 7 the other. But if he's just out there arresting people for resisting all the time, then I mean, it seems like it's a pretty easy task to accomplish. Even I am good at things that I put my mind to. So we're about at the top. His last one was on 7/30, which is about 11 days before he came in contact with me. Now we're going to go over to Reuben Rogers. This would be the dude with the sock on his fucking head the whole time we were out there. If anybody hasn't seen this video, you need to go check it out. I had 2 days of my life taken away for not obeying and bowing down to a detective's absolute authority. So his first one back in 2007, as a result of your hard work and support in the Department of Detention Security Division. Huh, isn't that interesting? I would like to thank you for a job well done. Keep up the good work. Your efforts are appreciated. So he started off in the detention side of it. Ain't that some shit? I'm going to scroll up for a second here and flip the camera around and read some comments if I could get it to work. Here's my nasty place. Yep. You guys caught my catch-all table in my unmade bed, so you're welcome. Sorry for having such few people in here that some of the lower subbed people would not really be able to gain too many subs being all up in here, so. Tampa Cop Watch lives like a frat boy too. Just a bachelor, you know what I mean? What do you expect? I appreciate y'all joining me for this one. I figure we're covering some good stuff anyway. If I've never seen anybody run through an accomplishment report on YouTube, so hopefully this will be at least a good educational piece. Joe Cool, all you have to do is type ha 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 ha, and the first thing that pops in my head is that laugh, man. Love it. You get me every time with it. What's your question, News Now South Flora? I gotta go find it. Well, it's funny. Oh, the couch. It's funny that you say that. I actually obtained this from a like 55 plus community, so it quite could very well be. Sadly, the person died and left all the stuff in the house, and they had like a warehouse that they kept all the stuff in, and I bought it real cheap from there. Noli D loves a puppy dog. Yeah, that's Sasha. She's my girl. She likes to be by her pops. I see I'm losing y'all's interest. Uh, as much as I like to say, I hope nobody died in here. Now they say that nobody did, but that's what they say. She's not a pity, but she's a real dog. What did I just say, Joe? Oh yeah, there's been quite a few deaths on the property where I stay. Blue Ivy in the house. What's going on, Blue Ivy? Meow. All right, I'm gonna get back to the docks. All right. Blue Ivy, we was going through some accomplishment reports from the Polk County Sheriff's Office out here where I'm at. Oh, well, Blue Ivy's welcome here anytime she wants. Sorry, Blue Ivy, that you had to be invited. Didn't mean to make anyone feel like they're not invited. Of course, everybody's invited. That's why I put it public. Kind of shit that is. Alright, 6, professionalism, integrity, commitment, and dedication. Thanks for your support during the past year. It was greatly appreciated. 20, performance under pressure / stressful conditions thanks to your ability to adapt and strive in such strenuous environment. Thank you for staying after the end of tour of duty. The tomb was short staffed, and you assisted by staying to work. You know, I don't get a pin where I work or a write up for when they call me in or something one day. This is crazy. 8, quantity of work. January 3rd, 2008, you and a fellow detention deputy conducted a shakedown in dorms A, B, C, D, and E. You were able to confiscate a tremendous amount of contraband and extra items the inmates possessed. Is it true? It is true that maintaining a safe facility lies within controlling contraband and clutter. Thank you for taking the extra step to ensure the safety of the facility and your fellow deputies, and for a job well done. Hey, I just want to shout out Eyes on the State. I appreciate you, man, for putting me up on the double homicide that had happened in the press conference that was going down. But those who don't know, I was diligently trying to make it to this event, much against um, a good idea for safety for myself, considering the guy was still out and on the loose and on the run. I got to the lake and realized I was going to have to ride my ass all the way around that lake. And then once everything was said and done, I was going to have to ride my ass back home, and I hadn't yet eaten dinner. So, thanks for the heads up. Please try to put me up on that kind of stuff whenever you can. If I can make it there, I'll be there. It just wasn't in the cards that night. Even though I had good intentions. Is she still talking about my puppy? Noli? Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's what I'm talking about. Rogue Nation in the house 2 times. I've never seen any of these kind of accommodations, like quality of work. I would like to thank you for your hard work in getting South County jail. Oh, funny enough, that's exactly where you guys sent me. South County. I think maybe now's a good time to tell the story. So, do you guys want to hear a good story? Hit 1. And I'll do to tell it in an entertaining manner. Yes, tell my. Okay, so if you haven't figured out already, because I've put it in enough videos, I serve the public myself in the private capacity. Um, and the way I serve the public is I serve them their meals. So one of the places that I work for, we get we'll say Leo traffic in there pretty often. On this particular night, it was after I was at the jail. Um, I happened to get a table that was two deputies and a girl in plain clothes. One of the deputies was on the phone when I first came to the table, so I kind of tried to see what I can get him to drink or whatever, and got a little bit of drink order. Then I came back to the table with the drinks, and they said somebody else was going to be joining them. They wanted to move tables, so I moved them one table over. They said he was a big boy, so he couldn't sit in a booth. Um, sorry, I just saw it come across the screen. You still haven't seen the arrest video, Joe? Shame on you. Shame on you. Kidding, of course. Back to the story, though. Um, so, yeah, last guy shows up. We get him all taken care of. This whole time, they're like using 10 codes, like 10-4 for okay and all that kind of stuff. And joking around. They're kind of selling each other out, like making jokes about the girl in plain clothes being on probation. And just because she got her ankle monitor taken off recently doesn't mean that she can act out. Um, yes, for very cheap, writes Crispy. Y'all can all kiss my ass about the couch. Back to the story. So I'm curious at this point, I'm really busy and they keep joking around, while I'm trying to take their order. And at one point I was like, okay, if you guys aren't ready, I can go do, other stuff that I need to do and I'll come back. I finally started getting everything under control and I'm talking to one of the bartenders at this point and she's kind of like, well, isn't that ironic? And I'm like, yeah, the fuck it is. And um, I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna kind of screw with them here and I'm gonna blow their mind. Yeah, I do get distracted way easy. I should probably turn these damn comments off so I could tell the story. There. Now I'll watch it back on the replay until I can get through this, or else we'll be on here for hours, and I don't know how much battery I have left. 37%. I gotta snap it to it. Or plug my ish in. Because that's what chargers are for. For charging dying batteries. Alright. Where was I? Now I gotta turn the chat on so I can figure out where I was. Talking to the bartender. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna freak him out now. So I was pretty much back to the table, and I walk up to the table and I say, "Wow, I'm finally 77 after all this time." Fuck your couch. Um, 77. If you've paid attention to any of my videos, is the signal for situation under control. So they kind of were like looking at, it, and then it kind of got weird for a little while. So I served them their dinner, and checking back with them was kind of weird. By this time, I'd already been into my, you know, my documents, we'll say, and found out their names and badge numbers of all the ones except for the one who was in plain clothes. I already figured out that they were detention deputies. I asked them this question. I asked one guy why he didn't have his gun belt on, and he told me that he had a concealed firearm, and just crazy shit. But anyway, so later on in the meal, kind of towards the end, I asked them if I said I had a question for them. One of them decided to say, "Yeah." Like, that is not what I was going to ask you at all. But they kept making references to the girl being on probation, so at this point I assumed that she probably worked in the same field and maybe she was on some kind of employment probation, like administrative leave or something like that. Um, no, I want to know just what did you do to end up on probation? And they all started cracking up and talking about how I made their night, and except for her husband who was sitting next to her, who was in his uniform. But she proceeded to tell me that she was a first responder too. That she got off this morning and they just got off now, and that's why she's not in uniform. And I was like, oh, okay. So as they were leaving, I was like, well, I hope you guys interact with the public like this all the time. You're actually sort of cool. I hope it's not just a you're off duty thing. And they're like, well, we're not allowed back in Hurricanes, which is another chain of restaurants down here. And I asked if they were trespassed from there. They said if anybody says anything, just tell them we're Diamara. Now, funny enough, this guy was a detention deputy while I was locked up, and he's got a undercut, like it's skin all the way up to here, and then he's got like it all slicked back, and in the back it just looks like little hairs. Actually stopped me one time before going to ask him a question. They had this red line that you cross to go to the desk, and there's a sign that says ask permission to cross. But I had been seeing people walking up to them asking questions all day, and I went to ask him something, and he was like, let's try that again. Turn around. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, what, do you have a problem with rules? But while he was making his rounds, because they had this little like handheld tablet thing that they have to go touch to all these little places in the room, I guess to make sure that they're doing rounds, so that for whatever reason. But he was walking around one time, and I noticed that he had this hand sanitizer in his gun holster. That's right, his hand sanitizer in his gun holster. So I made the comment: is it your hand sanitizer you keep in your gun holster? Yeah. Fucking real winner here. So, back to the story. That's the same guy that he just said, if anybody says anything, just tell him we're Diamara. So I said, oh, you mean the guy that keeps his hand sanitizer in his gun holster? The guy looks at me and goes, how the hell do you know all this shit? I said, you'll find out soon enough. And that's that story. On another note, if anybody watched the video from after Rogue Nation and I were trespassed from the Winter Haven Transit Terminal, we went into the police department and filed a complaint against all the officers involved in the illegal trespass. And the lieutenant who was taking our complaint, I actually waited on him and his family last week. So that was kind of different. And no, we didn't discuss anything about anything that had to do with that. I did sing Best Wishes in Italian to his wife, though, for her birthday. Shit's getting a little weird, though, That's why I was telling Sergeant Keegan, like, if you see me in there, I don't care, but I'm not just going to throw out everywhere where I work just like that. No, I'm not going to. Sorry, Noli D. There is one lady who kind of weirdly asked me one time when I was doing that whole birthday best wishes song to her. She goes, can I ask your permission to record you? I was like, you don't have to have my permission, although this is private property, but I'm all over social media, so I don't care. She recorded me. I never asked her for a copy of that footage, but if she ever posts it, you just have to go find it. Maybe Google people singing birthday songs. Message retracted. I probably just gave up way too much about where I work, but it's probably easy enough to find out. fit in their prison wallet. That's funny. I used to have a funny thought while walking my dogs all the time. If like holding a bag like that in my hand would prompt an officer to ask me what I have in my hand. Oh, you mean this dog shit? He must have not said it how he intended for it to be, because I don't think I have any comments that are censored because of bad language. So y'all can curse away for all I care. So, shall we get back to the records? You guys bored, or what you want to talk about? That's exactly what I was thinking. Do I watch any other channels besides 1AA? I mean, I used to be into like vlog channels and stuff like that. A lot of stuff that I learned about YouTube in general, I learned from watching those kind of channels. Like how Jenna Marbles has, 14, 15, 16 million subscribers is just beyond me. Yeah, that's right. See? No message retracted because of that. Why would I be running a 1AA channel and censoring speech? Doesn't make much sense to me. There may be some comments and stuff like that that I may not agree with, but it's not my job to censor it. Yeah, a lot of people make these references to subs and all that kind of stuff, but I watch channels that have, over 100,000 subs, and sometimes their views aren't really that high, and we all know that views is kind of what makes all the ads add up. Yeah, the George Carlin test. I like that. Well, thanks for hanging out with me all on a Thursday evening. I hope y'all found the accomplishment reports interesting. If y'all have any questions, I'm just gonna be hanging out for a second here. So, shall we get back into the accomplishments? What y'all up to though? Any of y'all going out, going live later, cop watching or whatever? I've been saying I got so much footage on backup that I could probably take a break and just edit videos for a while. But while I do have a live going right now, I do have a video edited that I'm about to upload as well. Um, just a little teaser into that. Yeah, you're gonna get to hear the 911 call about how this lady in code enforcement almost had me and Rights Crispy killed by this false narrative she was spinning. It still amazes me how people can waste resources like that calling the 911 emergency system for non-emergency stuff, usually just to protect their information, and nothing happens to them because of it. How often do I audit? I try to get at least like a couple days in a week. Sometimes, I mean, I'm recording all the time when I'm in public, so sometimes it's not always an audit. Like I got shit for a video of me walking into Circle K and the clerk freaking out because I had my GoPro on and trying to tell me how I don't have her authorization to be put on any websites or anything like that. And people were giving me shit in the comments about how I could have been trespassed, and that's private property, and I never called it an audit on at any time during the video. In the title, while it was in there, I just literally was practicing the First Amendment in a publicly accessible area of the store, conducting my business. Now, if people want to run off customers because of their own personal feelings about cameras, then that's on them to get fired from their own jobs because of dumb shit they react to. I should be I should be able to anywhere I'm allowed to go with myself. I should be able to go with my camera and not really get in trouble for it. It's like I've been in a Walmart with the GoPro too, sometimes with it on and sometimes with it not running, and no one's come up to me and said anything yet. But it just baffles me that people would want to make their own personal decision on who's allowed to shop at the store and who's not by getting the police involved. Once the police are involved, then it becomes trespass stuff. And people like to use this trespass bullshit to serve their own purpose all the time, whether laws being broken or not. And in private property, it's easier to do than public property. Public property, they still do it. I mean, look at my example. I probably shouldn't be trespassed from the bus terminal, considering no laws were being broken and all I was doing was walking around and recording. But because we were threatened with arrest and gave our names, we're attached to that now. So, it's another one of those what kind of shit that is moments. But at that point, would it have been better to just be arrested? You know what I mean? You gotta pick your battles. And the crowd goes silent. Yes, that part, Joe, is correct. That is correct. I do try to do something audit related at all times. If I'm not sending an email out to somebody trying to get records, if I'm not making a phone call to somebody trying to get records. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff has been due to my own situation now, and I've only been successful in part of it. I made a phone call today trying to make an appointment with my public defender, and then nobody couldn't get through to anybody. So I left a voicemail, and nobody called me back. So I'd emailed the public defender at one point in time because he gave me his card with his email and stuff on it. And so I gave that number a call, and real shady explanation as to why he can't make an appointment for. Well, I'm like, dude, I tried to make an appointment with your assistant, but I couldn't get anybody on the phone, and so I just tried this number. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's not ethical for him to make an appointment for a client. I don't know what that is all about, but it was just really weird. I did put him on speakerphone and ran the camera while I did it, so um, we'll see what to do about that. But I also made an appointment with an attorney locally just to talk to him about everything that's been going on and see what he has to say or if he'd want to help. I did read some reviews. The reviews are some are good, some are bad. I understand it's reviews and you can't please everybody, so I'm gonna kind of try to speak with him and formulate my own opinion on the matter. And then I have one other. Uh, don't get the pic. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm falling behind on the chat. I don't think it's anything. Well, yeah, I see what you guys are saying. And that has to do with not being a. I mean, we're not all. I mean, at least I'm not going out there to try to pester anybody or be a pest or whatever. I'm just going out to express my rights. But some people don't have a good feeling about it. They get all up in their feelings and all emotional and shit. And just me standing there with a camera minding my own business is, you know, reason to come bug me and try to find out what I'm doing. You know, Joe, I've kind of figured out that the only recourse that I have at this point for anything that has happened to me, I think, is going to be federal court. But we all know that it costs time and money to do, um, because just out of the communications I've had with different people trying to redress this stuff, it doesn't seem like they really want to give you any kind of recourse. And like a good friend of mine, the inspector told me one time, she was told by somebody, "Well, you're gonna have to sue us." That seems to be the only recourse. So if all of us have to end up in federal court with 1983 cases, 41 or 42 USC 1983 cases, then so be it. But it's not going to be for money and stuff like that, obviously. And if we did get any money out of it, it probably wouldn't be much anyway. But it's for the policy changes and stuff like that. Rogue Nation does a lot of educating on this stuff. He's kind of been the leader in the way of getting that ball rolling, and got none but respect for that. I just wish I was in a better financial situation to be able to handle some of the stuff that I need to handle, and had more time on my hands. But unfortunately, I have to work to survive. Like the rest of us, I'm not acting like I'm the only one. But I would rather be putting my time and effort into this kind of work full time. And I'd probably be a beast at it too, but we won't know until we get there. And from what I hear too, Dr. Sean Berry, it's also about trying to find the right lawyer to do it, because not anybody just wants to, you know, jump on with that idea. So I mean, what's everybody else's opinion on what the end game for what we're doing is? I mean, if there is an end game. Actually, what we're doing has been going on for a long time. So it's to try to find an end game right now is kind of. I mean, people have been fighting for civil rights for a long time. It just hadn't been turned on everybody until the past however many years since you know segregation and all that kind of stuff. I guess it would be. And then years after that, you had like slave patrols and or not. Well, you had slave patrols before that, but then you had Jim Crow, and now they just kind of turned it on everybody. Yeah, maybe that's something that I should have been looking into a long time ago, was making sure I had one, but you know, I kind of knew what I was doing wasn't breaking the law, so I didn't really see it as being necessary just yet. Well, yeah, but hopefully this is kind of just. I mean, it's not the beginning of people putting cameras on the police and public employees and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully it progresses and more people realize the importance of it. I actually have a video that I'd like to try to cover where a friend of mine went live a couple years back because the Polk County Sheriff's deputies were on his property And he ain't call him there, so he was just going off on him, trying to get him off his property, and of course they wouldn't comply. Um, so he spent about 18 minutes pretty much telling them, "Fuck you, get off my property and leave me alone. Whatever you're here for, you ain't got no business here for." My neighbors are telling you ain't got no business here. They're all watching you and watching what you're doing. So, see you in court. That's right, Rice Krispie. Right, right. Sometimes, no matter how hard I try to say your name, it just comes out Rice Krispie, and even if I'm saying it right, it sounds that way. But that's the whole play on words, right? Um, yeah, I would certainly like to. Now, I'm sure my sister wouldn't appreciate it, but I would like to get, my niece into realizing the importance of knowing her rights and, um, filming police when she sees them. I don't know 100%, where she stands and where my sister teaches her as far as all this stuff. But I would like to do my part in educating her on that kind of stuff. I do ask questions, but she usually doesn't want to answer them. Like I try to find out, if the school resource officers at her school were deputies or whether they were officers for Winter Haven, and she didn't seem to really care or say that she's even seen them. So, although I know they're there. Not too bad. Doesn't seem as if Rogue Nation or News Now South Florida are in here to comment on the whole in-game thing we were talking about. But yeah, the most important part to me is like, well, I wouldn't say the most important part to me is, but a lot of what got me into this is like I've been working for so many years paying taxes, and there were so many buildings that I'd never even looked at. You won't. I mean, most people wouldn't go into a courthouse unless they had to go there, right? Most people don't go into these other government buildings unless they got to pay their water bill or something. Most people don't go to, city commission meetings and all that. Yeah, that's really what it's about right there. Stick it to Demoniosis. On the Riz Neil, I think most people are pretty would probably say that I have a problem with authority. I don't really have a problem with authority. I know why authority is authority. I have a problem with them trying to violate my rights. Mr. Rass or Harass in his house. And no, I from this point on will not be staying out of their affairs. I'm fully engaged in their affairs because I fund their affairs. So, as I've been saying from the beginning, if you are a recipient of public funds, you are fair game to be audited. I've even went out and filmed the guys, cutting grass and doing work in the park and stuff like that. A lot of these are older videos that some of you have probably never seen, but you know, I want to check on all my public employees and make sure they're A, doing what they're supposed to do, B, taken care of, and C, not going to try to violate my rights. So, I've just always had a problem with people who want to try to tell you how to conduct yourself when you go out for these audits via YouTube, and then you go check them out and there's no content or anything. It's like, how do you expect to hold any kind of weight on this subject when you're not showing me what to do? You have to give me an example, right? I mean, at least put a link to somebody else in there or something. showing me that you're keeping up with this. But yeah, armchair quarterbacks all day, every day. No problem, Blue Ivy. You're welcome anytime. I hope next time you see a notification, you'll jump in. I don't get mass numbers on my lives. You know, I'm just a dude. So maybe that'll change one day, but I'm okay with it right now. Um, Getting to 1,000 and going live was all really about just having a few extra witnesses if I ever ran into trouble. So it serves its purpose. You know what I mean? I'm just going to continue being me, and hopefully somebody else will see the value in that at some point in time. So, well, I appreciate all y'all that have been in here. It's 18 for sure. 18 people liked it. I kind of got away from doing the accomplishment reports, but there's 190 something pages in there to cover. So it would have just gotten boring anyway. So hey, let's have some dialogue or monologue and comments. You dig? 77. There's a guy who pays attention. Unless you were wondering what that means. Are you trying to see what the shirt's all about? I don't even know if it looks right. It looks backwards to me. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Writes Crispy. It's a really good point. All right, 77, as I said before. Polk County signal for situation under control. So it's kind of like a conversation that I'm having with a cop without having to have a conversation with them. It says 77 question mark. So is your situation under control? 1017 question mark. Are you conducting an investigation? I do not answer questions. 1098 alpha. That's the, you know, end of a call basically saying that there is no shit. What's the name of it? Good thing I got records on backup. Not a bona fide incident. That's what it is. It means it's not a bona fide incident. And then on the back, I don't even remember what it says on the back. Here, let me turn it around. Gotta pull the other arm out first, Core. On the back, it says 13P suspicious person question mark, and it says Article 1, Section 4 of the Florida State Constitution, freedom of speech and press. I am not a sovereign citizen. And I am not a sovereign citizen. So it's just kind of like a little conversation piece on a shirt. That's all. Hopefully that explains 77 for you. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I don't think anybody's purchased a shirt yet. Uh, I haven't got any notifications for any purchases. I haven't really been checking the website either. But I would be pretty sure that they would notify me. Yeah, man, this is how it all started with me, man. Uh, for shirts, anyways, you know. I had the Fuck the Sheriff shirt, and then I put Fuck the Police on the back, too. I haven't rocked that one since Charlotte County, I don't think. And then I decided to make a bunch of other shirts. But yeah, they're ghetto as fuck. You know, just a plain colored t-shirt and Big black Sharpie. $10.54 is negative, like no signal zero. So negative on the signal zero, negative on the 13p. I think that's what the shirt said. I'm not armed and or dangerous, and I am not a suspicious person just because I have a camera in my hand. Who is the little boy graphic right in? Yeah, since the only footage Detective Navarro wanted to give me was like this, I tried to find a picture of him, and I found the one that we saw in the accomplishment report earlier on Facebook. And then I did a simple Google search, and his juvenile mugshot came up from his criminal mischief, basically leaving the scene of an accident with injuries. Which I later looked into his application and found out that he did not lie about it, so it doesn't mean that he's not a liar, though. Yeah, I figured that out about, but you know that picture was far better to use, I think, especially since it came out on just a simple Google search. Like the damn picture came right out. Oh, Nito Navarro. What's up, Nito? You watching me now, Nito? Puss ass cracker. So. I like that name. It's all too much. It's all too much. Oh yeah, then you have Timmy Darby, little Timmy Darby. Well, they didn't give me any recourse after that Winter Haven Transit Terminal trespass, so I tried to reach out to Citrus Connection, which is the company that does the local transit. And, you know, they had to make me identify myself just to even find out if I was actually trespassed. And, you know, I went through that, and they said, yes, in fact, you are trespassed, and you've been labeled a threat or some shit like that, a risk. A risk. So I had emailed the mayor of Lakeland, who's on the board of directors for this Citrus Connection deal, and he didn't respond. And because he didn't respond, I felt like nobody was listening to me, so I made a Facebook post. And on the Facebook post, I pretty much talked about their basically their less than average service that they provide, and basically it ended with me telling them all basically fuck you and we'll see you around, because I mean they can't stop me from traveling just because I can't ride the bus. So, but the lawyer had responded to it, and this is Timmy Darby, and decided um, to throw the stabbing that happened in Tampa at their bus terminal or to their bus driver in my face and all this kind of stuff. Basically, I was just trying to figure. I said basically a lot, and I'm very sorry. I was trying to figure out if I had any way to. Oh yeah, it started with ethics. If I had any way to appeal this trespass, I was trying to request the Citrus Connections, the records that they had for me being trespassed, and he was giving me all this wanting me to identify myself through email because it's unethical for him to talk to me because I had referenced some U.S. code in the Facebook post, and there may be pending litigation, and just goes all this on this tirade about ethics and how he can't communicate with me if I'm represented, blah 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 blah. So I had forwarded this to a couple other people just to figure out how to deal with the situation, and they took it upon themselves to try to get him to understand that I was making a public records request and so on and so forth. And then it just got all like blown out of proportion. This poor guy, much like an article that was written, decided to turn two or three of us into one person, and he's practically sitting on his dad's lap in their firm picture. I mean, the guy's a joke. He's sent back correspondence to other people trying to reference where I work and if I should need to get on the bus to go there for dinner or for work, and I get caught, that I will be arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent. Yes, I did get my records. I did, from Steven Scheibel, who was the records, custodian for them, but not without having to go through the bullshit with Tim Darby first. I always get my records for the most part, just remember that. They didn't call me the Gladiator for nothing. Gladiator for nothing, Oh, well, he sent me other records as far as that goes, but I think the actual guy to send me the report that William Moore wrote attached to the CAD screen was sent by Steven Scheibel, which is why later on in this debacle, I've told Timmy that if I need public records, I'll get them from Steven Scheibel. I don't need to contact him for that shit. I'm just literally trying to find out if the trespass still stands, if they're really going to arrest me if I try to ride the bus, which he confirmed that they certainly will if I get caught. But yeah, I got a pretty good success rate in obtaining records. There's still like, I requested the GPS coordinates for the vehicle that the detectives were driving in the day of my arrest for the whole day, and they told me that there's no records for that request. So that means that they don't run GPS on their cars, which is pretty fucking stupid on their part, or they just don't want to give them to me and they're telling me that. I already know about this guy. Somebody did make a comment in a video that if I will suck on a cigarette, I'll suck on a dick. They're just saying it's something I'm working on. Never sucked a dick. Just throwing that out there. So at some point here, in the near future, I'm going to have to jump off so I can handle dinner for myself. Or maybe they're telling me that they're not available because they're undercover, but everything else that they've given me redacted. I want to find out specifically where they were parked right before they pulled up on that kid, and then sparked my interest, and I pulled over to start filming them, and then he proceeded to walk up to me and say, "Was there any reason why you didn't stop at that sign?" Seems pretty easy to do. Accuse anybody of an infraction. and then obtain their ID. I'm really what writes Crispy though on this. I mean, it's 100% true. Any of these encounters do tend to um, make you nervous or anxious or whatever you want to call it. So current climate, even if he's not the one that originated it, it's where I saw it the first time and where he saw it the first time. That 30 seconds of meditation, I'm sure does help. Although I did not meditate while you were meditating, writes Crispy. I apologize. I was watching that motherfucker. Um, yeah, yeah. Think with a clear head. Give the right answers. If you give any answers, you know what I mean. That's what it's all about. I want to give a shout out to Big Nick too. I'm gonna try to holler at you at some point. Not sure if you remembered that you gave me your number, but you did. But I really liked that last video that you did with the no, literally meditation, cop watch. Um, the last video where the people were in the middle of a traffic stop and they were answering too many questions, and you kept throwing the movie clips and the music clips in there with that, and you hit the nail on the head with the pinkies, man. Shut up. Say another motherfucking word, and this shit is over. I really liked that video. It was good editing. I've been saying since I've been watching him though that I really wish that he would just pay well, it might have changed now, but back when I got Power Director, it was $5 to remove the watermark. But hey, to each his own, man. It don't mean I'm not gonna watch your videos because of it. Trying to see the filth. The filth are scary and dangerous. You need to be careful. Oh, the filth is in the police, I assume. Yeah, precautions are always taken. That's why we don't answer questions most of the time. Yeah, you were telling me about that one, Lee Watch. I gotta go check that one out. But yeah, it's crazy how it is with the community and their thoughts on what police are there for them for. They're not there to just serve your personal motives, you know? They're not there for you having people removed when you don't want them there, especially on public property. That seems to be what everybody uses them for. They get in their feelings about something. They need somebody to enforce their feelings. The only people that enforce anything, really, in society are the cops. So, congratulations, you became the restaurant managers of society. You know, this steak wasn't cooked right. I asked for Coke, not Diet Coke. You know, I wanted sweet tea, not unsweet tea. I want to speak to your law enforcement officer. And that's the day. That's this day and age that we live in. Like I've been saying since the beginning, violence has been going on in this world since the beginning of time. It's not any different now. You know, the only difference now is we have cameras and that can be disseminated to the public, and that works in two different ways. Yeah, exactly. Take the Diet Coke, you probably need it. Or they order, you know, 3 rounds of, you know, like appetizer, or 3 courses, appetizer, entree, dessert. Had a big ass meal, and they order it all with a Diet Coke. Some people just need to have their aspartame, you know? Alright, the community has gone quiet. If it stays any more quiet, then you'll literally hear my stomach rumble. Of course they do. That's not how you're supposed to answer that? Oh. Yeah, I've heard mixed feelings on gimbals. Um, People like Clash with Bow, it seems to work for really well. It keeps it real steady if they're doing things like running. But some people have given me mixed feedback about it. Like they're kind of weird or kind of cheaply made. I just stick to this horseshoe mount, seems to work alright for me. My problem is always I'm not paying attention to what I'm recording all the time. I'm paying attention to what's going on around me. Oh, that'd be cool, Mr. Rass. I wish I had something cool to give away. Maybe I'll give away the. Well, I'll show you. It's nothing anybody would want, but I'll show you. I've been saving something since that fateful day. No, not my couch, you smartass. And no, you can't have my 360 cam, you smartass, because believe it or not, that was actually a gift to me, and I will not give it up. So who wants to see what I've been saving this whole time? To the first person that can guess what that is. Lockpicking, that's interesting. Yeah, it's a box, Lee. Try harder. No, it's not a laptop. There's numbers on there. Maybe that means something. Here, I'll give you another hint. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet redaction job, isn't it? Oh, there's the 360 cam off of bike handlebar. All right, your time's up, guys. This is the property and evidence box that I had to go pick up. Oh, congrats on 1,000 there, American Freedom. Yeah, it's the property and evidence box that I had to pick up all my shit like a week and a half after I got out of jail. And then some of it wasn't with the rest of it, and I had to make another trip up there to get the monopod and the horseshoe mount. So, thank you, PCSO, for wasting more of my time and gas. Gas that I don't even have for my own car because I don't have one. Where's what audit? Does this say audit on it? I'm confused. Is this an audit video? I'm auditing myself right now, but I don't have a problem with the camera. So, how's that work out? Cool, we'll be looking out for that there, sir. Well, I'm actually probably going to be on my way out here before too long because I got to figure out something to eat for myself before tomorrow gets here. I never give myself permission. I just do what I want. Who sounds like a Scientologist? If I sound like a Scientologist, okay, I can see how you might say that. Somebody needs camera time right now. Somebody needs daddy time right now. Ain't that right, Sash? And she's doing it to me, as you can see by the swaying of the camera. Why does your breath always smell like shit? They're skinny dogs, man. God damn, do I have to get fat for y'all? Is that what you want? To see me overweight? Would that make you happy? You know I'm not in the business of pleasing people. That's a 1054. Right, Crispy? But anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna check out here. Um, I beg to differ, Tampa Cop Watch. You always speak before you know what's going on, man. There are literally begging strips right the fuck up on top of my refrigerator. So, Christmas with love. I'm gonna go get me something to eat, guys, and watch American Freedom's new video. I'm not having bacon strips for dinner. Um, I kind of want to order Beijing Chinese outside, but I might be past my mark because they usually close at 10. So if I get off of here now, I might be able to figure that out. I do have a video I'm going to try to drop after this, so if y'all go check that out, hit the like, and leave me a comment. I appreciate it, but y'all have a good night, and hope you learned something, and I had a great conversation with y'all. So, peace out.